What is up, fight fans? I am Jason Burgos for Sherdog.com, and tonight I have the pleasure of being joined by the man currently sitting at the number 5 spot on the UFC's Flyweight rankings. However, on March 14th in Brasilia, Brazil, he has plans on changing that and putting his name right in the middle of the title conversation when he faces the number 3 ranked Jussier Formiga. He is the assassin baby himself, Brandon Moreno. Brandon, Mr. Assassin, sir. Thank you for giving me some time before this big fight coming up.
Brother, thank you for your time. And I say before, I love your toys. Really, really nice.
I'm happy. I'm appreciative that you like them. I don't get many compliments on them. I'm glad to finally get some compliments on them. Thank you. I thank you. I appreciate you. Now, I have so many questions for you. Before we talk about this fight coming up, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Kai Kara France win. You know, he was on a serious run since you were both on the Ultimate Fighter back then. He had a fight win streak. He had won 3 straight in the UFC. He seemed to be in that getting closer to title conversation stuff. You did something many people have trouble with, and you pressured him, stayed in his face, beat him up for 3 rounds. Going into that fight, was that something you knew right away that you could do to him, you know, based on your personal style, based on knowing him for years and what he's done since then? Did you know, I can pressure this guy and get all up in his face?
Yeah, I meet Kai in the Ultimate Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that the Ultimate Fighter was in 2016. I remember. I meet him there, but I don't talk too much with him because my English in that time doesn't really good. Even right now, it's not really good,
Oh, it's good. It's good.
but I can talk with you, so it's fine. I think it's fine right now. So, but after the first round in the fight, I saw his eyes, and I can saw his body language, and I feel like I can win this fight. You know,
Mm.
I in the last year I evolved too much in my striking. Everybody say Kai has a really good power in his right hand. How you say he came with three win streak in the UFC,
Mm.
but I was in the same spot before the loss with Sergio Perez. So I think was more my experience and my confidence in that fight, definitely.
Now, I was going to ask about that later, but I'm glad you brought up now the English and how good your English has gotten. Because I remember on the Ultimate Fighter where you didn't really speak too much and stuff like that. It was hard for you to communicate with your roommates, stuff like that. I admire that, learning multiple languages and stuff like that, and how good it. And I'm sure it's helped you a lot in terms of, you know, your branding, because fighters got to build their brand and their name and everything like that. Like, one, was learning English one of the harder things you've had to do? You know, how do you feel like a really good confidence now? How long did it take you to say, okay, I'm confident, I can go to a media day and handle all the questions, I'm good, you know, all that stuff?
I mean, the I think the only difference right now, I have the confidence to ask, even if I wrong with my words.
Mm.
So now I feel confidence. I mean, the problem when I'm start to came to the United States and talk with all these people was I had zero English in my
Mm.
in my words,
Yeah.
but I was in the development program in the for the UFC in 2014 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with a lot of Mexican guys,
Mm-hmm.
Pantera Rodriguez, from Ecuador, Chito Vera, my partner
Mm.
Teco, uh, and other guys, Guido Canetti. All of, all of us was in New Mexico for training,
Mm.
and I start to talk more English. I start the to talk with people who just talk English, and then the Ultimate Fighter, and then start to go different places for training. You know, Denver, Arizona, Las Vegas. So just I start to talk with more in English, and it's fine. Sorry for all the people in the hotel. My partner take his flight today to 2:48. So I'm here in the hotel. So sorry, guys.
No problem.
Yeah, I know for my own brand, it's amazing
Mm,
because I have more interviews, I
yeah.
have more like media
Hmm.
put his eye on me,
Yeah.
so that's amazing.
Has it taken like? Do you feel like? I guess in a basic way, like in a money making way, has it really helped in terms of like maybe getting sponsors outside of fighting and making extra money and doing the media? Has built up your social? Has it made like a big difference for
Brother, not yet, but I know
you?
after this win against
Mm.
Formiga, I start to make money, baby. You
Now,
know,
yeah.
for glory and for my brand, for my own brand.
Do you think, and away from like fans and stuff like that, you've had some really good wins in your career. People may overlook it sometimes, especially from your first run in the UFC. Wins over Dustin Ortiz, Louis Smolka. Those are good, real good wins. But do you feel like beating Kai at that particular moment with all the kind of momentum behind him, do you feel like it's brought more attention? Are you getting more interviews, a little bit more attention, because of that win? Or is it because of Formiga? Do you feel like maybe you're getting a little bit more respect and attention because it's such a big fight? Number 3 versus number 5. This is a really big fight.
I know, and even I'm still the underdog in this fight,
Mm-hmm.
no, and I understand because Joseph Formiga is amazing. He has a lot of history in the flyweight division. He fought against the best guys in the world in the flyweight division. So after my fight in Mexico City against Oscar Askarov,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that was a draw.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I won that fight.
Yeah.
Everybody saying the same. Like, hey man, I think you won, you won, you won, and I feel the same. So everybody expect uh, Brandon Moreno with a lot of hungry win the fight against Kaikara France, and I think that fight wasn't a statement
Mm.
for my evolution and for what is coming for me.
Now for this fight with Jussier in Brazil, this is like I mentioned, really big fight. Formiga is an elite fighter, like you mentioned. His only losses are to guys that are former champions or were former contenders. Cejudo, Benavidez, Dodson, Ray Borg. The winner of this fight deserves serious consideration for a title opportunity. He's a very good grappler who can grind out decisions wins. I mean, half of his wins are decisions, more than half, and then the other half are submissions. What makes him, when you've been doing scouting with your team and preparing for, or just watching him over the years from afar, what makes his grappling very tough to deal with?
He's very basic with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he's really effective. He
Mm.
throw you down, take his back, and that's it. He tried to submit to get the real naked choke, but if he can't, he take all the round and win for a decision. So I know he's amazing. I know he's really good, but first I have the experience. I'm young, but I have the experience.
Mm.
I had really good names, like you say. I have good names in my record. So I'm ready, brother. I'm ready. I know this fight can be the contention for the title. Alexander Pantoja is there. He beat me before.
Mm.
Beat before. Dana White talked about the rematch between Figueiredo and Joseph Benavidez. But I need to make another statement in March 14th. And Dana White can say Brandon Moreno is
Have
the next
you
one
and
for
your
the title.
team gone back to his losses, like I mentioned, against Benavidez, against Borg, against these guys, and looked at and identified the things they did to beat him up? All three of those guys, like I mentioned, Borg, Cejudo, Benavidez, very, very good wrestlers. Can Formiga's grappling be like shut down with good wrestling, or is it much more than that? Is it much more than maybe he has a wrestling weakness?
I think it's because he doesn't have the combination between wrestling and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Ah, okay.
and I think that is really necessary for
Yeah.
the mixed martial arts. And other thing is, you know what is all these guys uh, broke his mind.
Mm,
You
okay.
understand me?
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
You know, because Joseph Formiga always tried to control the position,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. But if he can't control the position, his mind starts to be broken,
Okay.
broken, broken. You know,
Hmm.
Henry Cejudo, good, good grappler, good wrestling. Joe Benavidez, good wrestling.
Hmm.
Ray Borg, good wrestling.
Hmm.
All these guys, a lot of scrambles, never lost position,
Yep.
and I think Jussier Formiga can support that, and that that was his
I want to
losses.
go circle back to what you mentioned before in terms of being a Mexican fighter going for the title in the UFC because it never happens. Kane is the only guy I think that's ever even gone and been in a title shot and he won. Do you feel like you're putting an extra level of pressure on yourself or is it more of an extra excitement? Does this camp feel even more exciting than other fights because it's a big fight and get you in title fight and you know how much it means for the Mexican MMA fans because there's a ton of them out there.
Yeah, I mean, brother, right now I have a lot of pressure. I have a lot of pressure, and every single stuff like this is more pressure on me, but it's fine. I think it's
Mm.
normal. I'm trying to don't think a lot of that stuff because I have a lot of pressure right now. But man, I mean, I know Cain Velasquez is a real Mexican, but but me, I
Yeah, yeah,
born there in
yeah,
Mexico.
yeah.
You know, I born in a third world
Mm.
country where sometimes the opportunities are really is really hard to take the opportunities. The government, I don't, we don't have really support from the
Mm.
government. The big companies don't want to make sponsorships or something like that. So my family, uh, um, in all my career was the my sponsor in all my
That's a good
career.
sponsor.
So so I think that makes everything more
Mm.
exciting for my country because they know the hardest to live in a third world country like
Mm.
Mexico. I mean, Mexico is for me. I love Mexico. I love and it's in an especially
Mm.
Tijuana, where I'm from. Where I'm from, I born there, because the habits, the people, he they are really humble, really nice people, and I love my country, but I know the hard to it's really hard to live there.
The flyweight division has been at a weird position for years now where the promotion does not put a lot of effort into it but still will not close it down. Do you feel like Figueiredo beating Benavidez and not getting the title, because he didn't make weight, was it bad for the division? Cejudo didn't want to defend the title. Now the title stays vacated because the man who should have won, didn't make weight. Or do you think in a weird way, maybe the controversy because of that brings more interest to the flyweight division, and maybe it's a good thing.
Actually, actually, yes, I think it's 50-50 because we need a champion. Absolutely, we need a champion. But all this controversy, the people start to talk about the flyweight
Yeah.
division. I I saw that weekend when the fight is between Joe and Figueiredo, and everybody started to talk about that. If Figueiredo doesn't make weight, then Joe Benavidez need to won the title for his legacy and all that stuff. So I think it's 50-50. We need a champion, but the controversy is nice sometimes.
That's true. I agree. What are your thoughts on this expectation that Benavidez and Figueiredo will fight again in the next title fight for the division? Do you feel that is the right move for the division? Joe getting a fourth chance at the title? I know they've mentioned headbutt and all kinds of things. Or do you think everyone should, whoa, wait to see what you do against Formiga or what Formiga does against you? Since Formiga is the last guy to beat Figueiredo, do you think a win over him should make you the logical choice to be the next title contender against him?
Man, to be honest, I'll talk about Joseph Benavides always is too hard for me because I love Joe.
Yeah.
I love Joe. He is my coach. Actually, I never say like Joe. It's always my coach, my coach, my coach. When I talk with him, it's hey coach, how you been?
Yeah.
And I love Coach. I love Joe because he was a really good part of my development, like a fighter and like a human
Mm.
being. I love his philosophy of the life. I admire too much Joseph Benavidez, but and I think this is not my business. My business is go to Brasilia and kill Jussier Formiga and make a
Yeah.
statement. I can't control that. I I can't control what Dana White said or what Dana White want to do. So I just need to make a statement that night.
Let's say you win, but you don't get in consideration for a title shot. They do the rematch.
I will, brother.
All right. So when you win, let's say you don't get the title shot next, they go with the rematch. An obvious fight to make, based on rankings at least, would be between you and a man you mentioned earlier, Alexandre Pantoja. Is a third fight with him something you would be interested in, not just only for number one contender spot, but is that something that still bothers you and you feel you need to avenge that?
Man, I'm Mexican, and my heart feels too much pain when I'm talking about Alexander Pantoja because I know from the bottom of my heart I can beat Alexander. Just the moments when I fought against him doesn't was the correct moment. The first time was in the
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighter. I think was too fast. It's a hard competition, the Ultimate
Yeah.
Fighter, because you don't know the guy who's fighting the
Mm.
next time. So and the last fight against Alexandre in Chile was hard. My mind was really tired because supposedly I need to fight against Ray Borg,
Mm. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, in first in
Mm.
Texas, February, but I had an injury in my elbow, so UFC moved the fight to Brooklyn, but then Conor McGregor comes, Charlie Dolly, and
Mm.
all that stuff. The camp was really really long,
Mm.
and in the end of all of that, UFC changed my opponent. I mean, I have I had all my camp from a wrestler for a lot
Mm.
of
Yeah, yeah.
scrambles,
Yep.
for a grappling. But then UFC put me on a
Mm-hmm.
striker. Is a
Yeah, it's a
you
big
know
difference.
my mind was retired, changed all the plan, and again I know from the bottom of my heart I can beat Alexander Pantoja. Just the moment doesn't want the correct moment to fight with him, but I'm ready. I'm
Now, I'm
ready.
glad you brought up being Mexican because it's a key part of you. When you were released from the UFC, back when you only competed in one MMA fight for LFA before eventually getting back into the UFC very quickly. I always wondered, as a fan and as a person who always been a fan of your style, I wondered if Combate Americas was that at all a serious consideration at that time, since they work hard to promote to Latino fighters, to Latino audience, promote many events in Mexico. Did you ever consider them, ever think about them, or you knew or were told, hey, go out there, win one fight, you'll be back in the UFC right away?
No, man, in that moment my life was really really
Mm.
hard, really really hard, because I needed to take a lot of decision in my life to go forward, to keep going. So yeah, Combat Americas was an option, but they sent me a offer, a not really good offer.
Mm.
I think so. I don't want to say
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much, but the offer was really good.
Mm. What do you?
Then
No, no.
sorry.
Continue, continue.
Then I signed with Iridium Sports, Jason House,
Mm.
all my team, Jason
Yeah.
Varga, and then they gave me the fight in LFA,
Mm.
and Jason told about that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, take this fight. I know it's a high risk because the guy is really good. It was Michael Perez and former Olympian
Mm-hmm.
wrestler. Sorry. So the fight is hard, but if you win this fight and win really good, you can go again really fast to the UFC. And high risk,
High reward.
high
Yeah.
benefit. Yeah, and that's it.
What do you think of
What's the price?
Combate?
Not
Like,
good.
what do you think of Combate? And that they are a group that pushes a lot of Spanish speaking fighters, all different parts, Central, South America, Mexico, Spain, even work with, and then to an audience, to a Spanish speaking audience. You have an appreciation for the Latino audience, like just as a fighter in the industry. What do you think of Combate and what they've kind of done and what they've kind of built up?
No, I like Combate. I like Combate because they they make a lot of events. For example, in Mexico, it's really hard because sometimes uh, does doesn't have Mexico doesn't have events,
Mm.
and the fighters needs
Yeah.
to
Yep.
fight to make a record to go to the big leagues. So I like Combate. I like Combate. Actually, a lot of my training partners fight
Okay.
there, like Jasmine Jauregui, Edgar Chaires, Marcelo Rojo, and other ones, really good with really good careers there. So I like Combate, obviously. I like Combate because it's a good opportunity to shine.
Now you are only 26, a young man, but at some point, maybe when you hit 30, is there a belief you would want to change your nickname from Assassin Baby maybe to just Assassin? Because by the time you're 30, you're not a baby anymore. Or would you think about maybe Assassin Man? I like Assassin Man. Would you be Assassin Man?
Actually, 2 days ago, I'm talking with my coach, and they watch my body is I think I have a little bit more
Yeah.
muscles, and they say something like, "Hey, you look better, Brandon. We need to change your nickname. Like,
Yes.
I don't know, maybe assassin teenager or something like that." And so maybe you never know.
Now, okay, you brought up the Funkos in the back over there. I'm a big Funko guy. You are a nerd. Now, no, so obviously you collect the Funko and stuff like that. But are you like a big fan of like nerd movies and TV shows? Did you watch the Marvel movies? Do you have a favorite Marvel movies? Please be nerd with me.
And I need to say this. I'm a nerd of closet. I have a lot of things. I love to collect a lot of three things. I have a collection of movies.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
I, I have a funny story because the last day my wife and me went to Walmart, and I buy the Joker movie,
Okay.
the
Okay.
new, the
Mm-hmm.
new. And the other day, my wife said, "Hey, you can put the movie," and I say like, "Why?" Because you buy the movie, but I saw the movie in the movie
Yeah.
theater. So why did you buy the movie? Just
I
because,
do the same
you
thing.
know?
I got 4 decks of Blu-rays. I do the same thing. We're brothers here. We're brothers.
Exactly. And Funkos, I have 65.
Wow.
I don't know if you have your
Yeah.
list in your
I have
phone.
a lot
I have
more over
60,
here too. I have a whole collection over there too.
and I have 2 years collecting Legos.
Oh, wait. So
Lego.
then I have to ask you cuz I watch it. I watch it my girlfriend watch it with my son. There's a Lego Masters TV show on Fox. Have you seen that show yet?
Man, I'm that generation. Right now, I don't have TV. I
Oh.
just watch Netflix. I just watch Amazon Prime. So I don't have TV.
Oh.
But I need to watch that show because it looks really
Do you
really
have
good.
Hulu?
So I don't have
Ah, cuz
Hulu.
get Hulu. It's on Hulu.
It's
It's
good.
on Hulu.
All right, brother. Thank you for your advice.